Hello, hello, hello. So today, Sunday, May 9th, um, our subject is empty rituals are useless, coming from Isaiah the 29th chapter, 13th to the 24th verse. Again, I would just say read the 29th chapter of Isaiah. And so, what we see here is that Isaiah is prophesying that God is going to punish Judah for her immorality, but will restore her as a nation. And so, um, and why would God do that? It's because they, again, had become more concerned with empty rituals and doing things out of routine. And so really I'm going to give this a subtopic or subject, worship, true worship. And so they had not been worshiping God. And what do you think about when you think of worship? Um, so when do you think about the type of music? Do we think about congregational songs versus worship songs, or do we think about um, the musicians and praise dancers, or and so they're leading us in worship, and so or when we raise our hands, and those are all things that we could do. So sometimes we get caught up in the form of worship and not what work, or not really about who we should be worshiping. So what does it really mean to worship? And it mean if we look in Webster's dictionary, it says what worship is to honor with extravagant love and extreme submission. So when we think about that, worship is really about what's in the heart, um, and to honor and to love. And so, who are we worshiping? And are we worshiping our spouse or significant other? Are we worshiping our job? Are we worshiping our favorite sports team? What are we doing, and how are we prioritizing this in our these people or things? Where does God fall in priorities? He should be our ultimate priority. um God should be our. So when we talk about we're worshiping him because he is our priority in our life. And so what are some ways that we can worship God? So one, I would say, and these are just some examples, trusting him and surrendering our all to him, trusting him. So I was thinking about that. I sat down in this chair, and I didn't try to figure out if it was going to hold me or anything like that. I just trusted that this chair was going to be here and was going to hold me, and I wasn't going to fall. So do we love God and we trust him enough? We worship him by trusting him and surrendering our all to him. All to him I freely give. So we give our all to him. We worship him by serving him. So think about how God has given each of us something we can do, gifts that we have. So we can worship God by using the gifts that he's given us. So we can, if we teach, then I worship God by teaching and doing what he would have me to do. Or he may have given you the gift of encouragement. So we worship him by using the gift that he's given us. So if he gave you the gift of encouragement, then you should be encouraging others, because that's the gift he gave you. And there are other gifts, and go to Ephesians and you can read about the spiritual gifts. We can also worship him in music and dance. Okay, so in Psalms it talks about worshiping God in and praising him in music and in dance. So when we finish thinking about this, so we really, our goal is to worship God, and we want to make sure that we're putting him first as a priority in our lives. So don't get caught up in how we worship, but and don't get caught up with putting other things before God. Our goal in life is to show God and surrender to him and worship him in spirit and in truth by making him top priority in our lives.